All right, week 3, assignment 2. Let's go ahead and get started. Make sure in the assignment that you've opened the note catcher. It's a Google Doc that you'll be turning in before Friday, hopefully, or by Friday. Materials and strategies that I recommend for this lesson. Take notes while viewing slides. The note catcher that I gave you, it is attached to the assignment, and turn it in Google Classroom. If you have a note-taking app on your phone, share it with my email when you're done, whether it's through screenshots, whatever works best for you, or just good old-fashioned pen and paper handy, and take a picture of your notes and send it to me through my email. I also recommend that you wear headphones and know where the pause button is. You can pause this video at any time. You can go as fast or as slow as you need. Quick reminder, our Unit 1 big question is, what role does a story structure have on a coming-of-age narrative or story? Today we will look specifically at the short story that we read, Names Nombres by Julia Alvarez, and how the story structure played out. All right, this is a review. Please note that this is highlighted in yellow because you will be paraphrasing or putting in your own words or explaining what coming of age moment means to you. So as a review, coming of age is defined as an attainment, which means you get something, of prominence, respectability, recognition, or maturity. Back one. Coming of age story focuses on the following: a protagonist, that is your main character who grows and changes. So a protagonist who is socially or psychologically maturing. As we all get older, our brain develops more, so we become more psychologically and socially mature. Receiving an education in life, learning from life's experiences. Make discoveries about self and the world, and is changed by the events of the story. Synonyms, which are words that mean the same for coming of age, are develop, evolve, grow, grow up, age, mature, advance, reach adulthood, become experienced, bloom, blossom, or progress. So please make sure you pause at this time and put this definition into your own words for 2.1. All right, 2.2, coming of age story pattern. You'll notice the definitions or explanations for the general story pattern are in gray, and those that are specific to our short story will be in bold. All right, so at the beginning of a coming-of-age story, our character is introduced as youthful and immature. And our story does begin with Julia as a little girl immigrating with her family to the United States. What she sees, the problem that she encounters, or a challenge or problem, is the immigration people that met them as they entered the country were mispronouncing her last name. And she was offended by the way they were saying her last name incorrectly. And she was surprised that her dad didn't correct them more. So this became something she noticed throughout her childhood. Let's go to number 3, the struggle. So throughout the story, it's a 3-page story. Our character struggles to overcome or challenge the problem. She shares her experiences at school, where oftentimes people couldn't pronounce her name. Instead of saying Julia, they might call her Julia or Judy. She did think it was pretty funny that at one point when she was a kid that she had the nickname Judy Alcatraz. If you recall from our week 2, Alcatraz is a famous prison off the coast of San Francisco, where like major criminals like Al Capone were held. So she thought that kind of gave her like some street cred. Made her sound pretty cool. There's also these times when her sisters, people had difficulty pronouncing their names, and she would be kind of surprised because her mom wouldn't correct people again. And her sisters didn't really seem to mind at times. So it really just starts to go into how this change in name impacted her over and over and over again. All right. So then our character is going to be faced with a big decision. So at graduation, her extended family attends, and instead of being embarrassed, she's kind of proud. Yes, she has this really big family. They are flamboyant, meaning they stand out. They dress really nice. They're very talkative. They're very friendly people. And, regardless of what, and at the very end of our story, our character is seen as different, changed. Significance of learning is revealed. So at this time, she's graduating from high school. She's getting ready to leave home, and her family has given her a typewriter. And she's like, you know what? I don't really need to decide on what I need to be called, because she knows that she's going to grow and change as a person, and she knows who she is. So whether she's Judy, Julia, or Julia, I think even at one point she goes through and explains her whole name, which is like 10 different names, and she's okay with it. She's moved on. She's grown from the experience. All right. This is just a brief review. I just wanted to make sure I wanted to go back to it. So our protagonist moved from a state of idealism. She really believed that to be truly who she was, people had to say her name correctly, her family's name correctly. But she moved to a state of reality. She has a full 12 names in her name, but it really doesn't define, she knows who she is as a person. And the reality is, people are going to say it wrong, people are going to say it right, but it doesn't really change who she is as a person. All right, last part of this activity, your brainstorm. So I'm going to show you in a second a list of coming of age moments that my students in the past have come up with. Some of them are my own. Normally I would have you guys brainstorm this together in class. We don't have that opportunity this quarter. So I went through some of my students' work that they turned in the past, and these are some of their coming of age moments that they came up with. You will have a link to this in your assignment. Let's see if I can find my list. These are a quick explanation of some coming of age moments that my students in the past have written about. Changing schools. They had to change a school because they moved to a new town or a new part of town. And that really changes, that's a real defining moment when you are leaving behind friends, sometimes family members, going from elementary to middle school. Elementary school, you're with the same teacher pretty much all day. But by middle school, you're switching classes, you have a schedule. Some students wrote about having a locker for the first time. Middle school to high school, big change there. Again, you have more responsibility of getting to and from school, getting class to class, keeping up on assignments. And then I've even had students write about not being able to stay at a certain school. One that stands out to me the most is a former student played soccer at GW, and he really liked it. He made varsity when he was a sophomore, but he was also ditching classes and not passing his classes, and he was no longer allowed to stay at GW. So that changed him. He really saw there was consequences for it. So moving in with a different family member, number of my students have written about living with their grandparents because their family couldn't afford to live on their own anymore, or being new to a town, they had to move for their parents' work, and everything changed. Students have written about coming to the United States and going back and forth from the country where they're originally from to the United States. Working or volunteering, their first job, what it really meant for them to have a job, the responsibility, and learning how to manage money. First internship, being viewed as an adult. I had a student write about a summer internship where he was really into video production, and he learned a lot and got to know some of his teachers better. First time babysitting on your own, first time volunteering, new responsibilities, helping out around the house. One student wrote about the first time that she got put in charge of, vacuuming and cleaning, making dinner or breakfast or lunch, grocery shopping, making appointments, doctors, dentist, hair appointment, getting a new pet and all the responsibilities that go along with that. Like, oh, puppies are so cute, but you have to take them out at all times of the day to go to the bathroom. You have to feed them, take care of them, learning how to do laundry. New experiences, getting your driver's permit or driver's license, maybe first time on public transit on your own. Had another student write about how they no longer took the school bus, but were now taking RTD, and learning the system and, which line was better to take and which one wasn't. Allowed to go to the mall or shopping on their own with friends, movie theater without an adult, airplane ride on their own. Age-related experiences, big birthdays, Sweet 16 or quinceanera, turning 18, being a legal adult. Gentlemen, legally, if at 18 you are to register with selective service, which means the military, for a draft. Puberty, nobody likes to talk about it, but it is a part of an age-related experience. Life-changing events. Parents get divorced or separated. I've had students move into foster care. Death of a family member. Students writing about maybe a grandparent or an auntie or uncle that helped take care of them that passed away. Students that have lost their own siblings. Had a student a few years back lose his sister. Another student lose her cousin. Pregnancy. For some students, it's been about themselves. We have young parents at our school. For some, it might have been the birth of a younger sibling. A student once wrote about how she was so excited she was going to have this baby sister, and then her baby sister came and she was helping with diapers, and the baby would cry all the time, and feeding the baby, and all the responsibilities there. Legal matters, truancy court, or dealing with all sorts of different things within court, like drugs, alcohol, trespassing, those types of things. Skipping school, first boyfriend or girlfriend, falling out, like no longer getting along with a friend. Lost or broke something that was really important and having to own up to it to their friends or their family, or getting caught in a lie. Students realizing the importance of maybe honesty was the best policy. All right. So from there, go back through this video if you need to. These slides are going to be provided in the assignment as well. And have a great day.